A very good afternoon to everyone, and today we are going to start with a paper that is a brief introduction to economics. Dear students, before going through the paper, let me give a brief introduction about myself. I am Dr. Sujata Samantrai, presently working as a senior faculty in one of the reputed colleges of Odisha in Chikri Mahavidyalaya, and I am here to brief you about what is economics. Dear friends, as you all know, the CMA subject comprises of two important papers, that is economics and management. In economics, we have here, this is a paper 1, which is around 50 marks, and management consists of another 50 marks. Now let me brief you what this paper actually constitutes and how we are going to go about. And this paper is going to be very interesting for you because economics forms the crux of the society. Without economics we cannot sustain, and without economics we cannot imagine anything to run, even the business or the society or the entire world indeed. So I'll give you a brief account of what is economics, why we are going to study economics, and what are the important aspects of economics for the society, for the world, for the business, everything. But before going into this subject, let me just brief you what the paper actually constitutes. This paper is having around 50 marks. We will be dealing only with 50 marks, where your MCQ, that is multiple choice question, deals about 20 marks. Your match the following, the match the following or matching constitutes another 5 marks. Your true and false, certain statements will be given and you have to identify whether the statement is true or false. And we'll having short questions and answers where each question carries 5 marks. So you'll be answering 4 questions, which again comprises of 20 marks. So in total we have 50 marks of your examination. So in paper 1 of economics we are going to study economics, which will be of 50 marks only, and the other part is your management, which is around 50 marks. Okay. Now before just starting with this subject, let me brief you what is economics and why we are going to have it, or why we are going to study economics. Now the word economics itself says that it is all about the basic concepts of economics, where we are going to study about what is economics. We will be discussing about the definitions. Now this is my flow of class. Your flow of presentation will be like this, where we'll be first trying to understand the definition. Definition we'll be trying to understand in a very simple way, what is economics. Then we'll be going into the basic concepts, what are the concepts of economics. Then we will be talking about market. I'll tell you what is market and what are the different forms of market and why we are going to study market. And then we are going to study about money and banking, which is also a very important part of the subject economics. So before going into this particular thing, a particular topic, that is economics, let me tell you that what is actually economics. So let us first try to understand what is economics. This word is very common. You might have heard many a times people talking about economics. So what is economics exactly? Now, if you consider the society, we see in the society there are so many activities going on. There are some business activities. There are many activities where there is a question of production, there is a question of exchange, there is a question of distribution, and there is a question of consumption of various goods. And also there are numerous services in the society which we people are utilizing, or which we people are making the best out of it. Now when we are talking about economics, the word economics itself says that economics is a social science. Please remember that economics is a social science subject. A social science where we study about the production, distribution and consumption of goods. Production, distribution and consumption of goods. Now this is very interesting. Is it clear? Goods as well as services in a complex science. So we are talking about goods and also services. We have to include also the services. So when we are saying economics, economics means it is a social science, a subject. You might be aware of different science subjects like physics, chemistry, biology. But economics is a social science subject where we are going to study about the concept of production, distribution, consumption of goods and services in the society. It considers how the society is able to provide for its various needs. Now look, when we are talking about production, distribution and consumption of goods and services, the question now arises why. Now why we are studying economics? Now dear students, please listen that human beings are having unlimited wants and their wants are increasing day by day. And these wants needs to be satisfied or these wants needs to be fulfilled by certain means. Therefore today we have industries, today we have factories, today we have companies, today we have various MNC which are producing innumerous products and services for the satisfaction of human need. So this is what is economics. Economics is where we are talking about money. Economics is where we talk about banking. Economics is where we talk about how to utilize the resources in the best possible way so that the common person, the public or we can get the best out of it. Now we have numerous industries, we have numerous business houses which are trying their best to satisfy their customers and satisfy the people. That is known as consumption of products. Now when we consume the products, we feel satisfied and we also have a crave or we have a desire to have the product again and again. So in economics we are going to study a business cycle which is a rotating cycle. Now how it is rotating cycle? Because when we are talking about human wants, I told you the study of economics starts from human wants. Now human wants are undesirable. They are undesirable because there are numerous human wants which cannot be satisfied. Let me give you an example that if I have a cycle, I will look for a bike. If I have a bike, I'll think that why don't I have a very costly bike? Then again if I have a costly bike, I look for a four-wheeler, I will look for a car. Again if I have a car, I want a car which is of the latest model, good brand, giving me all comforts, and the want or the desire goes on and on. So this is the psychology or this is the mindset of a people where human wants are undesirable. They want to have more and more and more each day. And this gives the rise to the study of economics. Now economics in a nutshell we can say it is a social science where we are going to talk about how these desires or how these wants of human beings could be satisfied in the best possible way by these three important processes, that is production, distribution and then comes the consumption of goods and services. Now when I am talking about economics, when we are trying to discuss about economics, economics also studies how the individuals, the business houses, governments and the nations are affecting the resources or how they are utilizing the present resources for the satisfaction or for the well-being of the society, for the well-being of the nation and for the well-being of an individual person. And this is all possible through a coordinated efforts. Now I would like to give one small example. Suppose we are talking about an industry which is located in Berhampur or which is located nearby Berhampur. Now suppose we are talking about an industry, take for example a mining industry or take for example a steel and power industry. When we are talking about industry, we have certain resources. Now those resources have to be utilized in the best possible manner so that everybody is getting the benefit. Now when we are talking about benefit and when we are talking about the satisfaction, now the satisfaction is not only for the individual, but this is for the entire system. Now the entire system means the entire society as such, and the entire nation is getting the benefit out of the process or out of the social science where we are talking about production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Now when an industry is starting or when an industry is working, no doubt people are getting the employment, that is the individual benefit. They are able to earn money, they are able to satisfy their daily wants, they are able to have a good livelihood, and they are able to sustain with the family. Not only that, they are getting a broad scope to develop the skills and to have a better future. Similarly, the industry is getting lot of benefit because the industry is getting profit. Please remember, when we are talking about economics, we have to consider even profit, where profit is for the industry. Now when the industry is getting profits, and the industry will definitely grow, furnish and develop more and more. So all this is being done to satisfy the human wants, to satisfy the desires, to satisfy the common people, or to satisfy the customers, because customers are considered as the king of the market. Now why we are saying customers are the king? See, there are so many industries who have different products and different services which is going on in the market. If you look around yourself, you will find that there are n number of malls, there are n number of shops, there are so many shops where they are providing different kind of services or different kind of products. But if a customer is not satisfied, or if a consumer is not satisfied with the product or services, then the industry cannot sustain. Now in economics, we actually talk about that how we can satisfy these. I told you these are human wants are undesirable. We are talking about how these wants of human beings are going to be satisfied with the help of this cycle, that is the production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. Now the starting point is the human wants, and this human wants need to be satisfied with a complex process of production. Now in economics, we will be also considering some aspects of money, which is the main part of economics. And we'll be talking about banking and the role of banks in the entire system of economics. Now when we are talking about economics is essentially a study of usage of resources under specific constraints. Please remember that when we are talking about the production and consumption or distribution and consumption of goods and services, there are also some constraints, or there are some boundaries, or there are some kind of social issues which needs to be considered when we are talking about economics. Now I'll give you a small example to make you more clear that what is actually economics. Now when we are talking about the study of economics, we have two important parts, that is we are called as microeconomics and other we call as macroeconomics. So these are the two aspects of economics. You can say the two aspects of economics are micro and macro. Please keep in mind, when we are saying micro means we are discussing the concepts of economics, or we are discussing the concept in a very micro small level, maybe within the society, within a particular plant, industry. But when we are talking about macro, we are talking on an overall range, that may be a nation, or we are talking about the worldwide economics. So micro means when we are trying to focus on the concept of economics in a very smaller way, and macro means when we are going to discuss the concept of economics at a larger view or in a bigger scope, that is known as macroeconomics. Now coming back to the concept of economics, let us be more clear that what is economics and how this definition, like we have said that the study of economics is actually a social science, okay, because it involves production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Now here first let us understand what do you mean by production. Production here means that I told you there are some resources are available in the nature, resources in nature. There are so many resources available in the nature. For example, you can say that Odisha is a place which is rich in minerals, and other resources also. So when we are saying Odisha is rich in minerals and other resources also, now the point arises that how could we make the best use of resources so that everybody gets the benefit. Now resources are available and they are concentrated in different parts of Odisha. You know students that Odisha is a place where many industries have been set up and many industries have been doing very good, and they have been getting lot of profit and they have been getting lot of name and fame because of the fertile land or due to the richness of resources in this particular state. Similarly, all over India we have different kind of places where they are rich in minerals and other resources which can be made best utilized for the economical benefit of the society, of the people and the nation. Now when we are talking about resources, I told you these resources are actually untapped. Untapped means they are not made use of. Now in the process of production, we are trying to utilize those resources, or we are trying to make the best use of resources by utilizing the resources in the form of production. See, you see what happens when we are talking about a business, we have the concept like this is known as input, this is processing, and then is output. So when we are talking about input, now let me write it more clearly. Input, a business comprises of this way: input, processing and output. Hope this is more clear. Okay, so when we are talking about a business, we have an input system, we have a processing system, we have an output system. Now when we are talking about input system, now what is the input here? Input is the raw materials or the resources which I am telling you, okay, or the resources which I am talking about. I told you that Odisha is a place which is rich in various kind of resources, maybe mineral resources, maybe other resources. So we have to now see that how these raw materials or the resources can be best utilized in the process of production so that there is a output where the output is 100%. We have to see the output should be 100%. Now see, when we are talking about this concept of economics, I told it is a cycle where we are talking about production as a process, we are talking distribution, we are talking consumption. So these three words you have to remember, that economics comprises of the social science where we involve three important concepts, that is production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. Now in the production there are different, now the input here is raw materials, but when we are talking about processing, the main role is played by technology, the main role is played by the techniques and the inputs or the methods that are utilized to convert these raw material resources into some useful output. Now in the process of processing, we have technology, we have technique, and we have innovative methods. Now using the innovative methods only we can get some proper output. So what happens is, we are now talking about the process of production where there is a process known as input, processing and output. The raw materials is actually the resources, okay, which is converted through the process of technology, technique and innovative methods to give an output. That is, the output is the final product. Okay. So output is the final product of an industry or of a particular factory. So this is how the production process is. So let me just wipe out this part, then we'll go through little bit deeper. So see, production, we have understood that production means what? Production is utilizing the resources in the best possible way. To give output. To give the output So when we are talking about production, as I told you that in economics we will be revolving around these three words, that is production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Now production is what is production? The utilizing the resources the best possible way to give the output. Now output is the final product. You can say the final product is also known as the output. Okay. Now next comes, once the product is ready. Now you see, after the production the product is ready. Now our product is ready in the market. Now comes the question of distribution. Second is the question of distribution. Now let us understand what is actually distribution in economics. So this is distribution. Now distribution is once the product is already ready to be used, or after the process of production the final product is out. Now this product has to be distributed among the people in the market. So distribution is the proper alignment. You can say of the proper alignment, or we can say the proper movement of goods and services. Movement of goods and services in the market so as to reach the customers. So please see here, when we are talking about distribution, it is a proper alignment or movement of goods and services in the market so as to reach the customer. So our product is ready, we are ready with the product or service, and once the product is ready, the product has to be distributed, or the product has to move in the market in a proper channel. Now there are various channels through which the final product reaches to the customers. The channels may be few or there may be many, but again through a proper channel the product finally reaches to the end users who are known as the customers. Now the customers are the people who are going to utilize or make use of the product. Now the third step is consumption, which I have already told you that we are talking about the last cycle of the economy, that is consumption of what? Consumption of the products or services. Now when we are talking about what is consumption of products and services? The consumption of products and services, how best, like suppose I am a person I am a normal customer, I am going to market to buy a soap. So I will be visiting the market and I will be buying a soap which I like according, or it is according to my preference or according to my taste. So when I buy a soap, I am going to use the soap and then I am going to derive a satisfaction. The satisfaction can be derived only after I consume the product. Consume the product means in which way I am going to use the product. So once I use the product, and if I am satisfied with the product, suppose say I am satisfied with the quality, I am satisfied with the brand, I am satisfied with the use, or I am getting the best output of the product, then that means I am a satisfied customer. So after consuming the product, I feel happy, means I am a satisfied customer. So what happens? First step we have discussed that the process of production takes place when the goods and services are produced. Then it is distributed through a proper channel. Please remember that once the goods are produced, it has to reach the final customer through a proper channel, or we say the proper alignment of products, finished products or the final products through a proper channel so as to reach to the customers. Who are the customers? Now here our customers are the common people, or we are the customers, you and I are the customers. Then in the third step that takes place, we have a process known as consumption. Now what is consumption? Consumption is making use of the product is known as using of the product. Like what products and services, use of products and services is nothing but consumption. Products and services. Now one thing I like to tell you that services means, for example, in our society we have, or in a nearer place you have various banks are there, then we have service centers are there, we have parlors, we have different like we have Ayurvedic center like counseling session where people are taught how to use Ayurvedic product to keep themselves healthy. We have some houses which are giving free counseling so that you can have a good diet and you can exercise regularly, keep yourself fit. Then we have various parlors. Ladies parlor is there, gents parlor is there. We have banks, we have hospitals. So these are the places through which we are getting services. So please try to differentiate that what is actually a product and what is a service. A product is actually something which we get in a finished way, or which is a final product. Means a soap, a toothpaste, a brush, or eatables, non-eatables, essentials, or the daily use things which we are buying from the market are the products, and they are the finished goods. But when we are talking about services, services are not products, but they are giving us some kind of, we have to pay for it. Remember that when I am talking about services, we are not getting those services free of cost, but we have to pay for the services. Like suppose I am going to a hotel and I want to have lunch or dinner, then I have to pay. Suppose I am paying 500 or 600, means suppose I have eaten 4 or 5 items and the bill comes to 1000 rupees, means I have to pay for the services. Now what is the service given by the hotel? The hotel has provided me with food of my choice. So this is how we are talking about services. Similarly, when you go to bank, when you go for depositing your money, or when you go to open account, or you want to save your money, or you want to have a fixed deposit, or you want to go for an insurance, whatever may be your reason, or whatever may be the reason for visiting a bank, there also you are paying for your services. Similarly, when we are going to hospital, we are trying to avail the facility of the hospital. We are paying for the doctor fees. We are paying the fees for the hospital charges. We are paying fees for operation, everything. So that is also a kind of services. Similarly, one more example I would like to give, which is very common. Suppose I want to visit a parlor. I want to have a haircut. Then for the particular haircut, I am paying 100, 200 rupees or whatever may be the charges. So we are paying for the services and we are deriving some kind of satisfaction or benefit out of it. So please remember that when we are talking about the term economics, and I have told you that economics is nothing but the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services to give the utmost satisfaction, then the goods and services can be differentiated in the example which I have given you just now. Remember, goods are the final goods, or the essentials, or the daily use things, or the eatable products, non-eatable products which we are directly buying in the market by paying some amount. Similarly, services are those benefits or those kind of facilities which we are availing from the market by again paying some amount. So no service is free, then it is not. We see, we are not, economics does not say that you have to work in free. No, we are here talking about any kind of service where we have to pay. Money plays a very vital role in the study of economics. So the definition of economics, I think you are quite clear that when we are talking about economics, economics, as I told you, is a social science, okay, where we have concept of production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. And to why the question of production, distribution and consumption of goods and services? Because we have to satisfy the human wants. Now human beings are having innumerable wants and we have to satisfy the human wants, and therefore we have to undergo the process of production, distribution and services. So this is a brief definition or understanding on economics. I think you are a bit clear about it. Let me again little bit brush up with you regarding the definition. Now, as I told you, the term economics itself means an business activity. If you want to remember what is economics, then remember that economics is nothing but a business activity where there is some investment, there is some processing and there is one outcome. Now, and this business activity is meant to satisfy the desires or the wants of human beings like you and me. We are staying in the society and we have to satisfy the desires of the people, and that work is done by industries, factories, MNCs, production houses and so on. So in simple terms, we can say that economics is a very vital process of our economic system of our nation, because without economic activity we cannot sustain. And the study of economics, the credit goes to Karl Marx. Please remember, we have an economics known as Karl Marx. He is the person who has given many theories regarding the concept of economics, and he has been credited with the study of economical theories, aspects, and he has gone deep into the study which we will be dealing later on. So as per your understanding, please remember that the subject which we are going to cover here, that is economics, is a very simple subject and very interesting also, because we are going to talk about a business activity, and with business activities where there is profit, an activity which gives benefit, an activity which involves investment, an activity which involves processing, where technology is important, where techniques are important, where innovative methods are important, and where the final output, that is the product or services, is going to help you and me and the entire society and the nation as a whole. Therefore, we say that the study of economics is a social science. Why we are saying social? Because it deals with the society, it deals with the people. Now, I think by this time you might have been clear that what is actually economics. Now let us go to understand that what I told you. I have mentioned a word, that is micro and macroeconomics. So let us first try to understand these two important terms. Now economics is of two types, and when we are going to study economics, we can divide into two types, that is microeconomics and macro. So there are two important terms, that is economic studies can be divided into two concepts. What is microeconomics and macroeconomics? Now when I am saying micro, I told you micro means something in small. This is our common understanding, is micro means small. You all must be knowing that the word micro itself says small. Macro means large or big. Large or big. So what is micro then? Microeconomics. And what is macroeconomics? So let us first understand these two terms, because these two terms are going to come rapidly when we will be discussing about the various concepts of economics. Now see, when I told you economics is a business activity, it is a business, you can say, cycle, it is a business process where we have production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. If you remember these two lines, you will definitely able to understand that what is it, because the understanding of these two lines will help you to understand the entire subject as such. So the study of economics, as I have already explained you again and again, deals with the complex process of production, distribution and consumption of goods and services, for whom? For the ultimate user, or the people who are the ultimate user end, that is the human beings of the society, people like you and me and everyone in the nation. So the study of economics has two aspects. Like we will be discussing the study of economics in two aspects. One is the microeconomics, one is macro. Now what is micro? Micro means something which we are going to discuss in small, like in a nutshell. Like suppose I am talking about study of economics in an industry or in a particular unit. Say for example, we are going to discuss the economic as in a unit, particular unit or department, or in a small society, that is known as micro. Micro means something which is related in small, or a discussion or a scope which is limited to a smaller place. Similarly, when we are talking about micro means large, we can talk about the nation, we can talk about the world, and we can talk about big MNCs. So this is known as the macroeconomics. So later on we will be going deep into the concepts of micro and macro, but for the time being, try to understand that microeconomics means where we are going to discuss the concepts and the principles and the understanding of economics in a small way, maybe in a industry, or maybe a particular unit of the industry, or maybe a particular department, or maybe a small unit in the society. So that is micro. And when we are coming to macroeconomics, we are going to study macroeconomics as a whole. Like this, the scope of macroeconomics is very large. Like we are going to discuss the economical concept of the nation, the world as such. Is it clear? Okay. Next we will move further. Next we will be discussing, just I will give you a hint regarding that. What are the different aspects? Like I told you that the study of economics is based on four different steps which I have already told you. The first is production. Okay, production. I told you what is production. Then comes exchange. Okay, then comes distribution of those products, distribution, and finally consumption. So these are the four important aspects of economics. So first comes production, as I told you, I have already explained you about production. Then comes exchange, then comes distribution, and then comes consumption. So if you understand the entire concept, you understand what is actually economics. So when we are talking about, as I told you, that human wants, like the because of human wants. I told you human wants are unlimited. We are talking about human wants that are unlimited. I told you that if I am having a cycle, I look for a bike. If I am having a bike, I look for a most costly bike. I want more comfort. Then slowly I look for a car, I look for a branded car, I look for a sophisticated car, I look for a car which is giving me all the facilities, and so on. So this is a human tendency, or this is a psychology or the mindset of every individual, that our wants can never be fulfilled. Everybody is having the same kind of mindset. So as human wants are unlimited, it needs to be satisfied. Now how they will be satisfied? Human wants can be satisfied with the efforts. We have to make some efforts. Efforts will give us satisfaction. So this is the basic funda. The basic funda is that our wants or human wants are unlimited, cannot be, they don't have any limitations. Okay, the wants grow and grow. If one want is satisfied, then it gives rise to second want. But this, if we want to satisfy the wants, then we have to do some efforts. Some efforts are required. Because if I want a car, I cannot sit at home and say that I want a car, I want to ride a sophisticated car, I want to get something new. But how? How I am going to get it? So I have to work for it, I have to earn money, and I have to increase my level to that so that I can have. Suppose I want to buy a car where the cost is 28 lakhs. Say for example, I am looking for a car where the cost is 28 lakhs. Now if I am looking for a car which is of 28 lakhs, I cannot sit at home and pray God that, oh God, please give me this car, or I want this car, and God will not give. Miracle will not take place. Please remember that. We have our wants which are appropriate at their own place. Okay, having wants is not bad, or having desires is not bad. But how to get satisfaction of those wants? Main is we have to put some efforts. The efforts is I have to work hard. Suppose I am looking for a car which is about 20 lakhs rupees, and say for example my income right now is only 1 lakh. So I need to spend little bit of money from my income so that I'll be in a position to get the car. Maybe I'll take some loan or I'll give some down payment, but ultimately I have a car which is of 28 lakhs. So without efforts you cannot get satisfaction. Efforts has to be there, because our wants can be satisfied through these efforts. Now, why I am giving you this example? Because the study of economics is very well linked to the human wants. Now, human wants are unlimited, undesirable, and they are growing every day. You see, people are so much accustomed to the technology that today at every home we have a washing machine, we have a mixer grinder, we have AC, we have other technologies, other kind of sophisticated things which are giving us lot of facility, or they are giving lot of comfort. And suppose tomorrow anything comes, like sometimes I feel that if tomorrow we have a machine who can cook for me or who can do the household work for me, then I will be very happy, because sometimes I get very tired doing all this work. So I told you that like we have now, see now this grinder, say for example mixer grinder is supporting us, and we need not grind these masalas or anything manually. Similarly, we have an AC, we have a fridge, we have some other electronic devices at our home which we are using, like we have some blender, we don't have to use our hands. So we have so many latest technology which is helping us to make our life more easy. But still I would say that people are having the mentality that they want to have a more easy kind of life. Like I told you just now that I am looking for a machine who can cook for me everything. Like I need not do anything.
Suppose I want to make rotis, I feel very bored making rotis, especially in a hot summer. So I want that the machine should make for me rotis. So, and I also want that there may be some machine where automatically I'll put all the vegetables and the curry will be made. So students, listen, that as this example I gave you because I want to tell you that our wants are never having any stop or in full stop or comma is there. We always want more and more from our lives, and we want more comforts, we want more thing from the society. Now these wants are being fulfilled by very important concept, that is economics. Without economics we wouldn't have sustained in the society, because economics is the crux or the base of a business activity, of a social life, and economics is the only base which is providing us with all these comforts and benefits. If economics would not have been there, then we wouldn't have talked about industries, we wouldn't have talked about power, we wouldn't have talked about MNCs, we wouldn't have talked about other such respected industries which are in operating and doing their work so successfully in the Indian market as well as outside India. So coming to the concept or coming to the definition of economics, as I have told you, these human wants has to be fulfilled or satisfied through efforts, and that can be done by this economic or business activity, where we are concentrating on this four agenda or the four process, that is production, exchange, distribution and consumption. Now again let me brief you like what is production. Production is what? Making. Now what to produce? Now question arises, what to produce, how to produce and how much to produce, for whom to produce. Now when we are talking about the industries or the MNCs, they already have made a survey that what are the desires or what are the human wants, right? Without knowing the human wants, we cannot go for industry, or we cannot set up a market, or we cannot set up our own survival in the market. Because if you are producing a product, so for example, suppose you are producing a product which is no more required by the people, then what is the use of those products? Are you getting my point? If a product is not being useful to a person, then he will not buy. He will not going buy, he is not going to consume. So if he is not going to consume, then a question of satisfaction does not arise. So the main is, when we are talking about production, we are talking here about the best utilization or best use of resources, the available resources. Again one thing we have to note, that the available resources are at constraints. Constraints means all the resources are not readily available, but still we are talking about that the production is a process where we have to best utilize the resources in the best possible way, so that we get the best output which can be helpful or which can be utilized by the people of the society, by the human beings. Now when we are talking about production, then we will be talking about exchange. Exchange means what can be given in return. Like we can have some product, suppose I want a product, I can, and I am desiring for another product, I can exchange my product and I can get the product which I desire. Then comes the distribution. Distribution, as I told you, distribution plays a very important role in the entire economical system or the entire cycle of economics, because once the goods is produced, it has to be distributed through proper channels. Now here we are talking about channels. Now what are the channels? Channels are the movement or how the finished product, now we have this finished product at one end. Now the finished product which is at one end has to reach the ultimate user, that is the customer. So the movement or the entire distribution comprises of the movement of this finished product which will reach to the ultimate user, or who is the consumer. Now consumer is the ultimate user. So distribution of goods and services is very, very important, because it has to be distributed in a proper channel, in a proper manner, and has to reach the right consumer. Like see, previously with the goods were coming to distributor, then to the retailer, and then to the shops, and then we are finally buying. But now the system is totally changed. We are getting the products directly. Like when you visit a mall, suppose you visit a shopping mall, you find that there are n number of products available which you can see in your eyes, which you can select according to your choice, and you can buy it directly. So now we don't have many media, we don't have many kind of distribution channels. The distribution channels have been curbed down, the distribution channel has been lessened, so that the organization or the company wants that the product should directly reach the customers and the customers are not paid heavily. Previously what was the case, when the finished product was reaching the customers, it was passing through various channels, and for each channel the customer was the victim who has to pay a heavy price. Suppose, say for example, I am talking about a pen where the cost of the pen is only rupees 10, the production cost, suppose the production cost of the pen is rupees 10, but by the time the pen reaches the customer, it becomes rupees 17, becomes 17 rupees. Now why? Because the particular product, finished product which finally reaches the customers has been traveling through different channels, and at last when it reaches the customers he has to pay a heavy amount. But now things are very safe, things are very common and very easy for the customers, because we are getting the finished products which we can buy. So this is how the products are distributed. And lastly, consumption of products. If I am a customer, I am interested to buy a product, then I visit the nearby shop, I pay for the price, I pay a price for the product, because that is most important, and I buy the product of my choice, my taste. And once I buy the product, I am now going to use the product. If you are not using a product, you are not a consumer, you are only a customer who has bought. So there is a difference between customer and consumer. A customer is a person who only buys the product but may or may not use. But a consumer is a person who actually makes use of the product, and he can only know that whether the particular product or the service has given him or her satisfaction or not. So when I am using the product and I find it satisfied or I am happy with the product, then definitely I am going to buy the product for the next time also. So this is how the cycle continues. And coming to services, now I told you there are plenty of services available in the society. Let me talk about the banking services, the hospital services, the hotel services, parlor services. There are so many services. If you look around yourself or around your home, you will find there are many services available. But for availing those services also I have to pay. I have to pay a price. Then once I pay the price, I am availing the services, and if I am satisfied with the service, suppose for example, suppose I have been to a hotel and I have enjoyed the food, I like the quality of the food, I like the taste, I like the service, I like the ambience, and I like the venue, everything, then it gives me a lot of satisfaction. So next time when I am thinking of going somewhere, then I will definitely return back to the same hotel because I am satisfied. So what happens is, in the entire cycle, like production, exchange, distribution and consumption leads to economic activity, and there is flow. Now you see, in the entire cycle there is a flow of money. So money plays a very important role here. Is it clear? Money plays a very important role here, because at a person who is consuming the product, as I told you, has to pay at the end. You have to pay for the product or the service and a particular charge, and you can enjoy the services or you can enjoy the product, and at last when you are satisfied, again you want to buy the same product or you want to avail the same services again and again. So this is how the entire economical cycle or the business cycle or the study of economics is based on. So let us have a recap, like what we discussed today. I hope that in today's class you are at least clear that what is economics and why we are going to, or why we have to study economics. It is a basic paper and we have already discussed concepts like what is economics, then the definition of economics, and how the economical cycle starts and what is the importance of the economical cycle, and who are the end users of the economical cycle, and who is getting the benefit at the end. Who is getting the benefit at the end is the consumers, like you and me are getting the benefit at the end. So the entire study of economics rests on this particular cycle. So you have to remember that the study of economics is, as I told you, is social science. Okay, is social science. Why we, again the question arises, why we are saying that the study of economics is social science? Because we are talking about the society, we are talking about the people, we are talking about a process where we are talking about the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. And sometimes you see that it is very easy to say that we are talking about, we are saying that economics is nothing but production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. But one thing is, it is also a very complex cycle, because production, distribution and consumption of goods and services may or may not give the satisfaction at the end to the end user. If the end user is not satisfied, then the problem starts that the user will not buy the product. If the user is not going to buy the product, then there is a big loss to the company. A company will gain profit, a company will be sustaining in the market provided the end user is satisfied with the product of the company. He makes the best use of the product. So once a customer is satisfied by using the product or services, then next time he will again visit the same or he will buy the same product, or he will try to avail the same service from the market. So this is how it goes on. And I have also told you that the beneficiaries, who are the beneficiaries? In economics, we are trying to understand the individual, business, government, nation are all being affected by this cycle. Now when I am talking about the economical cycle, which comprises of production, exchange, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Now how does it affect and whom does it affect? Now this entire study of economics affects the particular individuals like you, me and people who are working in the industries, factories, or people who are working in different ways. They are being affected. Business houses, how business houses are affected? I told you that if business houses are not gaining profit, if they are not having a good market, or they are not able to sustain in the market, or they are not able to hold themselves in the market. Now how they are going to hold themselves in the market is with the growing demand of the people or from the consumers. So we have a concept called demand and supply, which we will be studying in the next few classes. But remember that for sustentation or for sustaining or surviving in the market is very important for industry or for MNC or for XYZ, any company, that your products and services has to be appreciated, has to be liked, or has to be in demand. Then only your industry is going to sustain. So this is business house, it is going to affect the business house, it is going to affect governments. Now how does a government make a difference in the entire economic cycle? Now here the question arises that the government is playing an indirect or direct role. You see, for example, there are many public sector organizations and there are private sector organizations. Now if the country is growing, if for example, suppose the private companies are doing good business and they are having good investments, then they can invite investments from outside, and and as such the nation is also getting benefit a lot from the growth of the economical cycle, because people are getting employment, there is generation of employment, there is increase in the GDP, there is increase in the income rate, and there is increase in the distribution. Like we are talking about distribution of goods and services, there is a distribution of goods and services is more, consumption is more, people are getting benefited, people are able to lead a normal life with normal and good income. So the society is stable. If the society is stable, the nation as such is stable, and the government is also incurring lot of profits, because the government is also able to invite outsiders who can invest money in the business, or they can be a part and parcel of this business activity. So the study of economics is to satisfy the wants and needs of every individual, groups and the entire nation as a whole. But this economical activity or economics activity has to be done in a coordinated manner, where everyone needs to be involved, everyone needs to contribute, and everyone needs to put effort. See, I have given you an example when I have told you that human wants can lead to satisfaction only if efforts are there. Without efforts, if I sit at home and I say that I want this or want that, God is not going to give me. So I have to put in some efforts. So that happens only in movies, that you see a dream that I have a car, and by the time you wake up in the morning and you see a car outside here. So that is only happening in the movies. So we have to put in efforts. Suppose tomorrow you want to click a job, you want to get a good job, you have to put in efforts, you have to work hard, you have to work hard for the interview, then only you will get a job. So similarly, when we are talking about economic activities, we have to satisfy human wants through these efforts. So the study of economics is basically based on human wants, how to satisfy the human wants, and how the cycle of business is going to run, what to be invested, how much to be invested, what are the resources. So these are some of the very important questions, which are some pertinent questions which will definitely come into your mind. Think about it and go through it, and keep on thinking that how this entire economical cycle actually works, because I have given you the basic idea that when we are talking about the study of economics, we are talking about a cycle which is quite complex but very interesting, comprising of production, distribution, and at last consumption of goods and services. For what? To satisfy this consumption of goods and services will directly lead to satisfaction of human wants. So human wants will be satisfied only after consumption of the goods and services. And a satisfied customer is always regarded as the king, because the satisfaction of customer is the only base, or satisfaction customer is the only, you can say, base for the industries to sustain in the market. And every industry, you see competition is very huge. Every industry wants to sustain, every industry wants to excel, every industry wants to make more and more profits day by day, and this can happen only if you provide satisfaction to the customers. So our study of economics starts with human wants and ends with the customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction after using the products and services. So this is in a nutshell, I have told you what is exactly economics, and I hope that today you got some idea on the concept of economics. In our later classes, we will be discussing about in details about the macro-micro concepts, and we will be discussing about utility, wealth and production. Then I told you there is a concept called the theory of demand and supply. Then we will be talking about the concept of equilibrium. Then we will be talking about concept of theory of production and cost of production. So this is our entire, and we will be also discussing different forms of market. Like I told you, the goods and services are available, which are available in market. Then we have to discuss that what are the different types of market, because market position is always not the same, or the nature of market is not always the same. We have some example like perfect market, imperfect market. So these concepts also we are going to learn. And we are also going to discuss a very important aspect in economics, that is the money and banking, because without money we cannot talk about economics. And banking processes and banks play a vital role, because they are the main source providing with the expense, or they are providing with the required amount of money to be spent, to be invested. So they are our financial advisors. So we are going to discuss about money and banking in the later half of the topic. So hope that today you are clear and about the entire concept. So today I have only tried to discuss, let me tell you in brief that today we have tried to discuss that what about this paper, that is paper 1. Okay, paper 1 is again divided into economics and management, where I told you management comprises 50 marks and economics comprises another 50 marks. And I have given you the already informed you, but I have again given you that how the paper comprises of MCQ, match the following, true and false, short question answer, which is about 50 marks. And we have today tried to understand what is economics, why the study of economics, its importance, and I have tried to brief you the basic of economics. So this is how we have tried to understand in a very simple terms. I have tried to understand you. Keep thinking about the terms, keep thinking about the concepts, and I hope that in next classes it will be more clear and you will be more aware of the concepts, and you will find it more interesting when we will be studying, or when we will be dealing with concepts like market, when we will be dealing concerning money, banking, everything. So this is all about the concepts. And next class we are going to discuss the principles. We will be going little bit going through the principles of economics, and then we will be studying the more concepts. We will be analyzing the concepts. I will give you some more definitions, and we will be discussing about the fundamental aspects and micro and macroeconomics. And hope you understand the term economics and the concept. Thank you.